Hey, anybody who's listening, somebody's in there. How we doing? What is with this chat thing, man? Every time I turn it on, nothing happens. I don't know. Oh, Aggie did it right, Mike. It says I had a choice between top chat and live chat. Silly. I like when they give you those three little buttons on there to decide what to do with it. It's 8 o'clock. Good evening. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Might as well make sure I'm right on frequency, which I just did, and verify something there. My name is Paul, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey at, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. And I'm net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Nothing heard. We'll move on then. If you do have any emergencies or priority, it's 911. You call first. If you can't do that, call us. We'll do it for you, or we can help in any way we can, except for moving luggage or you to the airport or helping you pack to move. The net may be broken at any time for that kind of stuff, but not the moving stuff. For information on this net, you will see our website at 146415.net. That's 146415.net, or you can see us on the Yahoo group, which is MJ_SS. That's MJ and then the underscore line. Doesn't say underscore, it's just a line at SS, or send an email to me, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey at ARRL.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. And as our custom, we are on 146.415 FM Simplex. In case you had any questions about where you were on the frequency. The purpose of the net is support and train ham radio operators to be good at what we do as amateurs. Communicate, have good signals, good radios, good antennas, and have fun doing it. We invite everyone to use the net to mount amateur radio events and activities for training, etc. In support of the communities, anyone have any announcements? Well, the announcements, of course, tonight we have the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net. It's immediately following the 2-meter net, and then we're going to go into the 2-meter sideband net on upper sideband, and that'll about do it. But the announcements aside from that are that there is a Tullahoma Ham Fest the 3rd of March, which is just about a month away. Just wanted to make you aware of that. And, of course, we have another net on the file next Wednesday, and we also have let's see, what else we have. Oh, the Wilson County net, of course, is on Thursday nights, 8 p.m., 147.105, plus offset in a PL of 156.7. Any other announcements or corrections? Nothing heard. Then I will move on to doing check-ins unless anybody has any other announcements. All right, start taking check-ins from the east then. This is K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex Net, keeping Simplex alive in Wilson County. East first. Nobody east of Mount Juliet Road?
W4DX.
I did hear somebody besides Eddie in there. I'm going to take Eddie first. What you got, Eddie?
Well, just thought I'd check in. I got a little hum on my radio.
Yeah, you do have a little hum. What, you got directly plugged into 120? All right, Eddie. You do have a hum in there. That's Eddie. Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-ray, just south of 40 and a couple of miles east of Mount Juliet Road. Did you find your hum problem? Sounds like Eddie blew a fuse. Who was the other person in there east of Mount Juliet Road? Yeah, boy, your signal's weak tonight. What's up with that?
I'm sitting in the living room on a handheld. So sorry about that.
Ah, okay, very good. You're playing QRP with us tonight. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good. I just want to get the check in. I'll let you get back. Thanks.
All right, AJ. Well, good to have you in there. That's Kilo. It's Kilo Mike for. I think I hear that right. Is it Charlie Quebec Juliet? Do I have that correct?
KN4UCJ.
Yeah, reverse the Q in the C. Sorry about that. It's QCK. Good to have you in there. And who else did we have in there east of Mount Juliet Road?
KN4LXH.
Hey, how you doing there, Jimmy?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. If you can believe it, my wife and I watched in the course of about 1 week, the entire Sopranos series. It's 81 episodes. We got one to go.
Oh my God. The only series I watched like that was the Breaking Bad series. I watched it all the way to the end in about 4 days.
Well, I have that series. I do have it on DVD. I just haven't watched it. Yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. I actually feel dirty after I watch the shows. You know, it's like I belong to the mafia or something.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, I don't have any I don't have any desire to go out and make meth, though.
No, I can't imagine. Yeah, I watched one of the episodes of that Breaking Bad, but for some reason, my wife and I didn't continue it. I don't remember what the reason was now. We'll have to break that out again, but not soon. You know, watching 2 or 3 or even 4 episodes a day is like, it takes away time from everything else and it drives me nuts.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to allocate your time judiciously.
I'm retired. I don't have to do anything. I do have to get some things done though. Well, good, Jimmy. How you making out with your welding tasks there?
Well, I can still, I'm still welding. Okay, I'm still welding gussets in.
Okay, very good. Is it why do you have to weld more gussets in? I'm confused.
Well, the way this thing is built, it's like 12 feet tall, and there's 2 arms that extend above it from about the 8-foot level to the 12-foot level, and they're at an angle. And the only thing you can weld to is the top vertical, the 2 verticals that stand up from the ground, and you've got to have some way to support those that shape up there, and gussets and so forth like that is the only way to do it.
Okay, didn't know, but that sounds. I'd love to see. Just make sure to send us pictures when you get it all put together.
Roger, Roger. I will. I'm going to have to test it first, though.
Yeah, I know that's true. Anyway, that's Jimmy. Kilo November 4, Lima X-Ray Hotel. He's up here in the north end of Mount Juliet, up by the north of the high school, and just south of Lebanon Road. Jimmy, good to have you in there. Good signal. And I'm anxious to see how that tower works out. Who else we got east of Mount Juliet?
W4ADX again.
Your buzz is gone.
Well, I moved my radio and I put my mic clip up where it's supposed to be, and everything's hooked up except for the antenna. So I don't understand how you heard me.
I could hear you. I heard the buzz, and your signal's not too much different than it is right now to me.
Oh, it still got a buzz in there?
No. I heard the buzz before, but not now.
Oh, okay. Well, always remember to hook up your coax. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. And let's see, next Saturday morning is the breakfast.
That's affirmative. A week from today, 8 a.m.
Comment.
Go ahead.
I can hear him in Nashville without the antenna.
Copy that, Eddie. You were heard over in northeast Nashville without the antenna.
I don't understand how. I mean, the coax was laying like 6 inches away from the radio. Too.
Who was that? And who jumped in there?
Sorry about that. A KI4NDN heard him in Readable without the coax too.
Hey, leave that coax disconnected. You were heard down in Reedyville.
It's unexplainable, isn't it?
I think the radio decided to transmit through the microphone cord.
Maybe it did. Maybe it came over the AC line.
I don't know. It sounds funny, though, whatever it is. If you find out more, let me know.
Quantum entanglement.
Oh, my God.
Maybe we don't need antennas.
Yeah, maybe we found a secret way to transmit without an out. The homeowners associations would be happy to hear about this development.
Yeah. Okay, carry on. Thanks for doing the net.
Yeah, very good, Eddie. Keeping Simplex alive, as always. We had somebody. Who else is east of Mount Juliet? Thanks for checking in again, Eddie, with your no antenna update. Who else we got east of Mount Juliet?
KG4, I think.
You got your antenna hooked up?
No, it's unhooked.
Okay, very good. And you're unhinged.
Yeah, I had to make sure I was unhooked so I could get out to Reedyville and every place. Now I'm just, sitting here. I got finished eating and I got thinking about what time it was, and oh man, I better get in here. So if I sound like I'm out of breath, it's because I was running through the house.
Man, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, especially when you got dogs that run in front of you and try to trip you.
I don't even need that excuse. Yeah, that's right. Well, that was Kevin, KG4MIZ. He's over in Lebanon, chasing to get on the air. You could have taken a late check-in and avoided that run. You get to a certain age, Kevin, and it's not wise to climb ladders, climb towers, or run.
Jump. I tell you, I can't even jump no more.
I think I heard Robin's nasty comment in there. Is that you, Robin, riding bicycle?
Well, I say something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I recognize your voice. You can't disguise it. You need one of those software voice changers.
Okay, K4IDC.
All right, very good. Who else east of you? You checking in there east of Mount Juliet Road? Except you're not. You're west. I'll make you wait. We're going around clockwise, so you're going to be last or near last. All right, who else we got? Kevin, appreciate you being there, even if you have to run. But, man, be careful. Who else we got east of Mount Juliet Road?
You done north?
Not yet. Who else we got east of Mount Juliet Road? James must be busy with his family. All right, we're doing north there, Charles. You checking in? No, go ahead. Very good. Kilo Golf 4, Sierra, Foxtrot, Charles in Cottontown. How you doing?
Tired. Didn't get back home until about midnight and didn't fall asleep till 2 o'clock, and then drove down to Columbia again and did some errands today. At least the sun finally came out.
Yeah. So you said you were in Florida?
Yeah, but that night when I checked in, Wednesday night, I was in Antioch, and then I delivered a load to Arkansas, but I'm back home now until Monday.
Ah, very good. So that job's going reasonably well, I hope?
Good enough to make it.
Oh, very good. Glad to hear it. Keep up the good work. All right, that was Charles. Kilo Golf 4, Sierra, Foxtrot with a new job. I hope his job goes well. Who else we got? Where? North of Mount Juliet. Please come in.
Kilo Uniform 4, X-Ray, Quebec.
Hey, how are you tonight?
Good, Paul, man. How you doing, brother?
I am doing. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me. I've been watching that. I feel like I need to go out and buy a few guns, a few like machine guns, because of the gang wars in the Sopranos movie.
Oh yeah, man, I know what you mean. I watched Bohemian Rhapsody last night. I bought it off of YouTube, and I've been playing Rockstar all day.
Well, how is that, by the way, that movie?
It depends on if you're a Queen fan, which I have been my whole life. So I really liked it. So I liked it. I played it for my wife. She liked it. She likes Queen okay, but I really enjoyed it. I wish they would have spoke more about the famous guitar and stuff like that about the band, but it didn't follow it like well, it's the movies, you know. It didn't follow it exactly how it should have been, but it was worth watching.
Oh, cool, cool. I know my wife will probably want to watch that. And I was I can't say I was a fan per se, you know, like you consider a real fan. I mean, I bought their first album or two and enjoyed them immensely because they're really one of the best rock bands that ever existed. And Freddie Mercury may have had the best rock vocals on the planet.
Oh yeah, definitely. They were so unique. Uh, you know, they had. You heard, you know, the guitar one time, you know, which you built. Brian May and his dad Bob built that guitar out of a fireplace mantle because he didn't have the money to build a guitar. Winded the pickups, did everything. So, you know, with that sound, and he played with a coin instead of a pig. So, you know, you hear that guitar and you know that it's Queen from the first note.
Oh, that's funny. Funny you should mention that. My brother, who's a bit younger than I am, he has an 18-year-old that just started at the university at Buffalo, New York. And he just finished building a guitar that he cut. He cut the wood himself, and he finished the wood himself, and he mounted all the devices himself. Of course, it comes as somewhat of a kit too, you know, with the pickups, etc. But he says, I haven't seen it yet, but he says it looks fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I thought about doing that myself, but I'm too lazy. I work on cars for a living, so you know, I don't like the same way with radios. I will not work on them. I'll take them to somebody else because I just don't want to work on anything. I'm just lazy, I guess.
Nah, I know what you mean. You're busy doing stuff all day with your hands, and you're back breaking work or working on vehicles. So I understand. Did you change the pictures? You did change the pictures on your QRZ page, didn't you?
Yeah, I finally got around to it. And I haven't changed them, I think, since 1996 or whenever it was when I got licensed. So I thought I'd get on there and show how badly I aged.
There was a line in that movie, you know, The Sopranos, or that TV series, whatever it was called, and it was two really heavy, you know, Italian guys. One was really heavy, and the others. And one guy looks over at him and says, "That's the before, and that's before the before."
Yeah, it happens though. Yeah, I'm definitely not aging well, but you know, my wife keeps on yelling at me. I'll work on it. I'll get outside and exercise or do something against my will, but I guess I need to.
Well, in spite of my exercise, I still weigh 283. So I haven't weighed myself today, but that was the last time a week or so ago. So I know what you're saying. I never thought I'd be at 283 when I'm 69 years old, going on 70 this year.
That ain't too bad. Yeah, I'm like 10 pounds ahead of you, so yeah, I need to get off just, you know, for back purposes, and I plan on doing some kayaking this year and some and getting back on the bike and you know, I've got to. It's just part of life. As much as I don't want to. I'd rather sit here and talk on the radio all day, but it is what it is. 73, man. Appreciate you being there for us.
All right, very good, Tim. Yeah, I just noticed. I was just looking you up here. You're the exact, well, nearly the exact age of my brother, my only brother, and he's 17 years younger than me, so, or 17 and a half. So, yeah, actually, that's one of my. I promised myself, and I got to do it again, that I really shouldn't be entering into the winter of my life 50 pounds overweight. You know what I'm saying? It's going to shorten my life, I think.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I had a buddy of mine. He's 5 years older than me. I've played in bands with him since I was in high school, and he just got his chest cut open and got the Widowmaker unplugged, and he feels great. But yeah, he's 450, so you know, so there.
Wow, I'm surprised they did the surgery, man. Yeah, I knew a guy. I presume he's still alive. He weighed 450. He played football for LSU, and then he weighed. When I knew him, he was about a little under 450. But he says I didn't weigh that when I played for LSU. He says I weighed around 300. But then I stopped playing football and working out, and I kept eating the same level.
Yeah, and you know, you can be big and be fine. A buddy of mine, he was a center for Vanderbilt. He'd come over to the house with his dad, and he'd eat everything in my house and take up the whole couch. He was a huge boy, but after, you know, he quit playing football, and he said, "Man, he said I've got to start working out."
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to do. It really is. It's hard for everybody. Well, maybe it's easy for some people. It's not easy for me. All right, Tim. Good to have you in there. It's Tim in Hendersonville, Kilo Uniform 4, X-Ray, Quebec. Good to have you in there, Tim. Great signal. Well, from Hendersonville's not a big deal for me. Who else we got north of Mount Juliet?
WB0NOL.
I don't know if I heard two people in there, but I did hear Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Doing good, Paul. And to take part in that last conversation, I am not too fat. I am just way too short.
If I use an excuse, I'd have to be 7 foot tall.
Yeah, well, I think I'm only about 4'9" or something like that, so being 205 is okay.
It's not really that bad. I mean, it's kind of like there was a guy on TV years ago. I still remember his name. He used to sell, I don't remember what he was selling. It was either some kind of exercise equipment or it was a weight loss program or something. His name was Covert Bailey, Covert, just like the covert, covert operations. And he was very convincing guy. He was just an interesting guy to listen to. And that's why I'd sit through his infomercials. But he would say that, he says, you can be fit and fat simultaneously.
Yeah. Well, I got a doctor appointment coming up in about a week, and I'm sure I'm going to hear about it
Well,
anyway.
I may have mentioned on the air before, but I went to the doctor over at the VA, and she said, she looked at my records, looked at my, all the stuff that I submitted, and, the nurse took, and she goes, you're doing great for a guy 69 years old. I wanted to slap her.
Yep. Well, I got in trouble, and she was telling me I needed to really cut back, and I said, well, does that mean I can go from 3 dips of ice cream to 2 at night? And she says, no. She says, that isn't what it means. She says, what it means is you shouldn't have any. So, I'm looking for a new doctor.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it reminded me when you said that Covert Bailey said that ice cream should be by prescription only.
Well, I'm afraid if that was the case, I would never get any.
No, absolutely. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And you'd think I'd learn after all these years, but I haven't. All right. Very good, Mark. Glad to have you in there. You get a good signal. And I assume you're pretty much copying everybody that's already checked in, aren't you?
Yep. I think I've heard everybody.
All right. Very good. Who else? Good to have you in there, Mark. And it's Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar. And he's in Hendersonville. Great signal. I'm sorry, Henderson. Yeah, it's Henderson. No, he's in, I'll get it straight. He's in Hermitage. The H is wrong there. Good to have you in there, Mark. Who else we got north of Mount Juliet?
WD40.
Hey, Danny. How are you this evening? How's that new job rolling out?
Well, week 4 just completed, and so far so good. It's been kind of slow, to be honest, just because everything is up and established. But things are starting to pick up. I got an email today, actually, for something that I'm going to start working on, and and finishing up a contract project that I actually started back in November. So there's been enough to do. But yeah, so far so good.
Good. Glad to hear it. That's one of the worst things we mentioned some weeks or months ago, that when you lose a job when you're middle-aged, it's not a fun thing to do and to think about either.
No, it's not. It's pretty scary. I actually am fortunate and blessed that I got an exit package as good as I did, because that would have been terrifying for that not to be the case. So very happy about that. I'm glad to get started with something reasonably comparable, and before that package ran out. So yeah, so far so good. Very thankful to be back in the saddle, I guess, as it were.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, that's why, they always, I don't know anybody who does this, so forgive me if I'm preaching to people here, but they always say you're supposed to have at least 6 months of funds to cover those kinds of losses, job losses. And I'm thinking, I don't know a soul who's ever done that.
Yeah, life should be that easy. I wish I did. Well, there's 2 things wrong with that. First of all, is my pay grade really didn't provide for it, really. And the other thing is, it's a natural law of biology that an organism will grow to consume its environment. And, it's a kind of a natural law of economics, really, from a household standpoint, is for the vast majority of us poor schleps, whatever you bring in is more or less what's going back out. Now, I mean, I put money in savings, money in 401ks, and things like that, very religiously. But as far as having this 6-month salary buffer, in a perfect world, and I suppose it's possible. You just have to be diligent, and you have to be very disciplined about making sure that you only live on 75 or 80% of your income potential or whatever, and stock the rest of it into a nest egg. That'd be a great idea. But yeah, no, didn't happen over here. I had a little bit tucked away, but I would have been in deep doo doo if they'd have just kicked us to the curb.
No, yeah, I had when I was out of work. Oh gosh, a long time ago, and it went down 4 or 8 weeks or 10 weeks. And a friend of mine, he calls me and says, "How's it going?" I said, "Well, if it goes on much further," I said, "I'm going to have my wife get a second job."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I don't know. And my wife works; she's freelance, so she's literally works by the phone call. And that's great when it's happening, and it's not so great when things are kind of down. So that makes a bit of a difference. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I kind of knew how to go about that. So, quick comment based on what Tim was saying there a minute ago. I had the privilege of doing the VH1 Rock Honors in Las Vegas. Golly, I want to say somewhere in the general vicinity 8 years ago, I guess. And I got to hear Queen live. And of course, excuse me. Sorry, Freddie Mercury had already passed, and I cannot think of the guy's name who was fronting for them in that thing, but I got to hear all the rest of the original members. And you don't realize how good some of these bands are until you hear them in person. And I mean, how truly brilliant some of them are. And there was an all-star lineup in that particular show. It was Queen, Kiss, Judas Priest, and one other that has just flown out of my head. But I got to, at some point in time, be out front of house during sound checks and stuff for all those bands. And I'm here to tell you, they're yes, they are that good. And Queen was exceptionally talented. I mean, their live sound it's nothing like you get on the recordings, and it just doesn't. The recordings are good, but doesn't really do the band justice. You don't realize how good those guys are.
Oh yeah. Well, when I watched, in fact, I just listened to. I think it was yesterday. I was listening to the Queen at Live Aid, and even that is even when you don't even watch the video, you just hear the audio. It's a fantastic, fantastic, rendition of their work.
Oh yeah, yep. And especially when you get a situation like that, and performers get their performance juice starts to flow. There's rehearsal level, there's performance level, and I don't care how much of a professional you are. There's another 10% in there someplace that comes out when you're live on stage in front of an audience. You know this is the real one. This is it. So, and I'll tell you something I was really impressed with. I was never a big Kiss fan, really. Because it was a little hokey and with the get-ups and whatever else. But I'm here to tell you, those guys live, because I got to hear it was part of the same show, and to see and hear those guys, and you figure how long has Kiss been doing this really? Since like the dawn of time, and to watch those guys sound check, and to see the performance level that they put into a sound check, because those guys have sound checked a million times, and especially something as simple as the staging. They go through all the staging, and Paul Stanley with his guitar solo, and then his strut down the stage thrust, and all of that. I don't know if it's just muscle memory and it's autopilot and he only knows how to do it one way, or that's just what the deal is. But to watch those guys, it's pretty top shelf. It's definitely an interesting experience.
Oh yes, it's always interesting and fun when you see a professional. Even if I don't like the music, it's fun to watch. You know what I'm getting at is it professional is just fun to watch because they're just so good at what they do.
Yeah, you're correct. And you know the all the I guess offstage drama and whatever kind of notwithstanding. And I was backstage and Kiss was back there, or whatever. And I didn't realize this either, but um, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, good Lord, those are some large individuals. They got to be every bit of 6'4", 6'5", both of them. I had no idea. I've been around different performers and different things um, doing different shows and stuff. You'd be surprised that you see somebody on screen, you see them in real life, and it's almost a little bit of a letdown because they may not be this 9 foot tall individual. Like Tom Cruise is not a big guy at all. Sylvester Stallone he might be 5'10", 5'9". He's not a big guy. A lot of these guys. Um, um, I'm drawing a blank here. Steven Tyler. Good grief, he'd blow away in a stiff wind. I don't think he's 5'8". But Paul and Gene, they were, good Lord, huge individuals.
Yeah, but Schwarzenegger's bigger than me.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger's a big dude. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
No, I think he's 6'3" or 6'4". I'm not sure about that, but I know he's bigger than me. All right, very good, Danny. Good to have you in there. I'm glad your new job's working out for you well. We're going to move on with the appreciation for Queen night here. It sounds like it anyway. All right, Danny. Good to have you in there. Whiskey Echo 4 Echo in Andersonville. Who else? North of Mount Juliet. Moving to the west, then, west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County, west of Mount Juliet Road.
KM4YRF.
Okay, you have to tell me how many Queen albums you've ever owned.
Not a single one.
Actually, I had a what do you call it? A babysitter. And when I lived in an apartment in middle 70s, I don't know, 76 maybe. And when Queen was big, and I came home one night, whenever I got home, whatever the deal was, and the neighbors complained to me that the radio was way too loud. It turned out the babysitter was playing my albums and playing them up, with the stereo up all the way, blowing out everybody's eardrums. And I said, okay, that's the end of that babysitter.
Yeah, I hear that. I've experienced that a time or two myself.
So I know you've heard everybody that's been on there tonight. Until we get down south, you might. Well, I don't know. You're going to do fine, I think.
I've heard everybody, except for Kevin. I guess his beam is pointed away from me. I did not hear him. He's the only one so far.
Huh. Kevin, were you at low power or something? No, don't run back to the radio. Please don't do it. No, he must have took off. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Normally, Kevin's got a really great signal.
Yeah, I normally hear him all the time. We had a great time in the class today. I saw Richard there. He was in the general class, and I was in the tech class with my brother, who really, really enjoyed it.
Well, good. I'm glad it kept his interest. That's usually a tribute to good instructors.
Yeah, those guys over in Wilson County are just really, really good. They really care about what they do, and it shows in their classes.
Yeah, very good. All right, fine. We got to keep track of Dennis up there. He hasn't checked in tonight. He may be working because I know last night he was working downtown in one of the clubs. Something called a winery. Is there a name for it? Nashville Winery, West End Winery?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but it sounds possible.
Could be. Yeah, he said, and I know he's working last night, so I presume he might be working there tonight too. All right, very good. Good to have you in there. No, I was going to say the reason because he's still putting up he'll have about maybe upwards of 70 feet of tower when he gets finished with that X700 on top of it.
Well, that's going to be killer, I can tell you right now.
I know. I might as well just hand over net control now.
Well, we'll talk about it.
All right. Very good. We'll talk to the board of directors. All right, that was Michael, Kilo Mike 4, Yankee Romeo Foxtrot up in Belshire. Who else we got in west of Mount Juliet Road?
Teddy 4 OEN, Kilo Delta 4 Oscar, Echo November, Mary from lovely Belshire. Sitting here watching the UT Texas A&M basketball game, which is pretty close. Well, right now we're about 7 points apart, but pretty good game.
I think UT is still they were ranked at number 1, are they not?
That's right.
Yeah, my brother was bragging to me yesterday or day before yesterday. And he said, because he went to University of Buffalo and he lives near there right now. And he was bragging about Buffalo now being ranked. They're number 18. It's like they might as well be, at the bottom. It means nothing at number 18.
Oh, that's funny. It's fun to brag, though, if you're listed anywhere, I guess. But yeah, we're 5 points apart now. It's fun to be number 1, though, I have to say.
Yeah, it got to be nerve-wracking, though, because your loss, whenever a number 1 loses, it's really devastating.
That's true. Well, good to hear you, Paul, and everybody else out there. We always enjoy the net and appreciate all you do. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Marty. Everybody have a good evening. K4OE, clear.
Very good, Mary. Looking forward to Marty.
84 BQK.
Hey, Marty, I hear you understand. You're understanding. You're you're enjoying that game on with UT.
Well, sort of. I don't know. It's been going back and forth.
Well, that makes it exciting. It doesn't necessarily make it less nerve-wracking.
Had another good game, and they had put it on TV, and it ran overtime, and now we missed part of it, so I don't know.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, it's good to be number 1. It makes the coach and the team look fantastic on the world, on the stage, at least in the United States. Where were they ranked last year? Do you remember?
What number 1?
No, I didn't think so. Were they very low in their rankings, though?
Oh, pretty high.
Okay, very good. Well, obviously they're playing with some of the same players. I haven't kept up with it.
You like to play basketball?
I used to, but I'm about 10 times slower than I used to be.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Not as quick. Let's put it this way. When I was in high school or 19 or so years old, I weighed about 185, 190. And now I weigh 90 pounds more. So it can't be quite as quick.
You like to watch it?
Oh, yeah. No, but college ball is probably my favorite. I'd rather watch college than the pros.
Yeah. I guess we'll wish everybody a good evening and go Tennessee.
Yeah, very good. I hope they do well. All right, Marty and Mary, don't get too carried away if they win. You'll be screaming from the rooftops again. All right, good to have you in there. That was Mary and Marty. They're in Belshire. Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November and Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo. Both in Belshire, of course, both in the same household. Good to have you guys in there. Who else west of Mount Juliet? Anybody else west?
Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Hey, how you doing, John? Sound good?
Yeah, you're sounding good tonight, Paul. And I'm doing just fine. Just trying to work through my list here.
Hey, I wanted to ask you a question. One of the fellas who's not on the net tonight, I don't think, at least he didn't check in. He's over there in Castellian Springs, and he had a question I really couldn't answer well for him. And he said, listen, I can hear John. He's got a great big audio signal to him up there on his. He doesn't have his good antenna up yet, no, either. He's got a homemade dipole at 25 or 30 feet. But a big signal, he says, but almost nothing on the scale. And he goes, now, how can you have such a big noise, big signal on such a low signal level?
the first thing that comes to mind is it's sort of the nature of FM, because FM receivers work. They have what's called a capture effect. Once they grab hold of the signal, it's, you know, if you can get it even S1 half or S1, the S meter almost doesn't even matter. You'll actually hear it. Once it gets above the noise, it'll discriminate it.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I even explained to him, I said, no, I have the same issue that, you know, John's a big signal to me, even though there's a big lump of hill between him and me. And we're not sure why that's true, you know, why that, because again, it doesn't matter the wattage, you know, if you've got something obstructing, you know, you can't get over something that's, it can't get, you know what I'm getting at. It's getting around somehow over that lump. But as far as the signal quality, the audio quality goes, you do great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, but that's something, I have not listened back. When we do the single sideband, have you recorded that on the YouTube as well?
Yes. Hey, by the way, you are like, I was just trying to look, because I got it backwards here, but you're almost full scale over. It's either 40 over or 50 over. I can't read the scale backwards here through my, when I'm looking at the screen here.
Yeah, you know, it's just, and there's another thing. If you Google S meters, even with high quality, you know, manufacturers, not everybody calibrates S meters the same way. And the other thing is, if you adjust the RF gain at all, you've instantly thrown off the S meter.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, you were like 50 over here just now. So you're doing even better than normal.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's somehow or another, you know, it's you know, you and I got sort of lucky with jumping over that mountain.
I think it's matched antennas, just like when you get matched tubes. These are matched antennas, so they work well.
Or maybe the distance has worked out where we've actually created a real life open air transformer that's got X700 windings on each side.
I don't know what it is. It's almost hard to imagine that big a signal with that big lump out there. All right, well, very good, John. That's Whiskey for Alpha Whiskey Echo, and that's John over there in Bellevue with a big signal getting out most places, except maybe Richard's. No, Richard's out there in Lebanon. He didn't check in tonight. All righty, let's move on. Appreciate you being there, John. Who's up next to west of wherever I am, west of Mount Juliet? Over to the south then, south of Mount Juliet, south of 40.
KN4, MPV.
Hey, Terry. Nice to have the night off.
Certainly is, Paul, and I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you didn't have any more truck problems, did you?
No, everything went real smooth Friday night into Saturday morning, and I was very thankful.
That would really be bad if it cut into your weekend, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the worst night of all. I'd rather have many days besides that.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is I haven't had a job since, well, I've had jobs, but I haven't had a regular career job since I forget what year it is, 2010. So, and this going on 9 years, I still miss working. And I've worked them long hours, but I still miss it.
Well, come on by the house sometime. I got plenty of work still that I can't catch up with. And it don't pay too good, but I'll help you on the work part.
I think I'd rather work in my specified field than mowing lawns or cutting trim and bushes and trees and painting.
I hear you. But you're sounding good as always, and I've heard most of the people tonight that's been on here, and everybody's sounding good, and sounds like you have another good net there, and I'll let you get back to it there. Everybody, send me through to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and have a good time. KN4MPV. Yeah,
very good, Terry. And that's, of course, Terry, Kilo November 4, Mike, Papa Victor. He's in Murfreesboro. Anybody else saw the 40?
Mike 4, November Yankee, Bill.
Hey, Bill, you sounding good tonight. Are you hearing everybody, or do you miss some of those?
I seem to be missing a lot of them tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have to get you a 50-foot tower.
Well, I've only got a little J-pole. What do you expect?
You get that up 50 feet, it'll receive really good.
No, it is a long ways from 50 foot.
No, I know. But you do good to me, though.
Well, that's good. It's nice to know that if something really happens, I can reach you because you're so close. You'll be here in just a matter of minutes to help me out.
Well, if I'm here and you need me, just let me know. No, it's nice to hear people being able to communicate, really. And I'm sure there's others in your, 15-mile radius to hear you real good.
Well, I hope so, because I don't know how far I really want to reach when you get right down to it.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm in the same boat, except that I worked hard to get it where it is right now. I say I worked hard. I spent money, but and I do. Somebody would say, "Well, why don't you get a tower?" And I said, "Well, number one, because it's expensive, and number two, I'm not really trying to talk to Louisville."
Well, I can get you, and I can get Manchester, and I can get David way out there, and so on. But no, I do not seem to pick up Franklin very well at all.
Oh, really? Franklin's tough for you?
It just doesn't seem to be there.
There must be some geographical reason for that, because you should be well positioned for Franklin, but obviously there's something in the way.
I don't know what, because there's nothing really, I don't think, that high between us.
Tell you what, I'll look it up on my geographical chart here, and maybe we'll just know the reason anyway. If there is, there must be some reason.
Well, that's probably all these three-story houses around me.
It could be. That's right. And all that aluminum faced insulation in their walls.
That's very possible.
All right. Very good, Bill. Good to have you in there. That was Bill, Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee. He's in Murfreesboro. I got to make a note here about that. Looking at that kind of thingy, the geographic thing. All right. Who else we got south of 40?
K4TYJ.
Hey, thanks for hanging in there, Jim. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. It's Saturday. I got all next week off, so yeah, everything's good.
You got the whole week off?
Yep, I got the whole week off.
So you're going to be on the air all week, right?
Oh, yeah. That's my job next week. That and building the 160-meter dipole.
Have you actually checked with your YL?
She's working. She will be working next week.
I don't know. She's got a spy on the premises.
No, she works from home. I just come in the shack, and it's just like I'm on the road for the week.
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, there's still other things obviously need to get. You plan on doing anything big, though, besides that 160?
I'm making a 160/80 fan dipole, so I have two resonant dipoles up. That's really the big plan for the whole week. And I suppose I could tear a front end of a motorcycle apart. I gotta get some fork seals replaced in one of the bikes, so that could happen. I don't know. We'll see. I got a whole week. I don't want to get too much done too quick.
Well, there's a rule in managing jobs. You know what that rule is? You make the list of jobs you want to do, and then you prioritize them by the most important first, and usually the hardest first. And because if you don't put the hardest one first, it'll never get done.
Well, okay. Well, the antenna is the hardest one, obviously. So, that's prioritized first.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got you. No, that sounds fun. So you're going to get a full length 160 dipole. You got lots of trees out there, huh?
Oh yeah, I got lots of room, lots of trees. It's going to work out great. It's going to be spectacular. Just ask K4TWI. We scoped it out together. We made a suggestion, and I took it under consideration, and we can make it work.
Yeah, he's just doing it for personal reasons. He wants somebody else to talk to on 160.
I'm willing.
Yeah, I know. That'll be great, though. That really will be great. It'll open up a kind of a whole new, well, not new, but a band for you to do, well.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. I can't hardly wait there. I'm looking at my brand new coax that came in today. Now I'm just waiting for other stuff to show up that I ordered, and I can start putting it together.
You mean like 550 feet of wire?
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, that's a good roll of wire, isn't it? I think it's more than a roll of wire.
I got 500 foot of it. I'll need 260s
So when you said you're using how much for the dipole on 160?
260, I think 269, something like that.
Oh, so you're not making a full wave. So in other words, it's a quarter wave on each side, correct?
Right. It's going to be a resonant half-wave dipole.
Okay, very good. I just want to make that clear because I was thinking you were going to get a total length 500 and something feet dipole.
Oh, well, then there'd be a loop. I thought about making a delta loop. That'd be, I think, 574 feet. I've got one. I love it.
Who's that? Oh, yeah, you do, Danny?
Yeah, Danny, WE40. I've got a full wave loop coursed up through the trees here. It's about, I'm going to say, somewhere in the vicinity of 530 feet of wire, and I match it with a quarter wavelength at 160 of 75 ohm RG6 quad shield. Yeah, I could make that, but I thought about it. I took it under serious consideration. But you don't investigate that. I'll tell you, I love mine. I have great luck with it. I can get almost all of 160 with no tuner. I can get pretty much everything below 3900 on 80 and everything up from there. It has some response on pretty much every band. The Q gets higher the higher the bands get, so it gets a little fussy, but I have great luck with it, and it is so quiet. It is unbelievably quiet because it's DC ground. So anyway, I'll get back out of the way. K4PW, the groove, WE40.
There you go, Jim. You have it from the horse's mouth. It's going to work great.
Oh, yeah. I took the Delta Loop under consideration, and it's not totally off the table yet. If I make that, I can run 80, and, I'd be all set. It's a lot of wire. All right, thank you, KE4TYJ.
Yeah, very good, Jim. That was Jim Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet down there in I'll think of it again. I keep scraping my mind for some reason. It is Woodbury. I always want to say water. I want to add water to that for some reason. Woodbury. Very good, Jim. Again, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. Who else saw the 40?
And 4 PQX. KI4NDN.
Hey, hold on, David, KN4IDN. Hold on. What was the other KN4 station, please?
KN4PQX.
PQX, Papa, Quebec X-ray.
That is correct.
Okay, very good. I just had a brain freeze there. First name, please.
It's Joey, Robin's neighbor.
Oh, you know why? You haven't checked in a couple of times, so my brain just dropped you, man. Yes, I remember you, Joey.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's been beginning of the semester, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. No, you don't need excuses. I only say that about missing the net because my brain is at the point in my age that I need reinforcement regularly on identifications, names, and calls, or I forget them. Well, no, I don't forget all of them, but just what I'm saying is once I learn them, they're there, but it takes a while.
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. It's like when I spent a whole semester learning about electrical engineering, and now I can't remember any of it.
Well, that's true. I used to know a lot of electrical formulas in my brain. It was easy to memorize them, and it was easy to use them. And I knew guys that could roll off formulas like crazy, but if you don't use them regularly, they disappear.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I guess it's still there, maybe under hypnosis or something, but in a pinch, maybe you might remember it, if you thought about it a great deal. But yeah, that's the problem too. So now you're finished with your electrical engineering course that you took?
I spent a semester taking a few classes, and I just kind of decided it wasn't really for me.
Yeah, that's right. You mentioned that. Well, I don't think it is. It's to some degree. I'm trying to think I've never thought about this before, but not in detail. But so much of engineering, electrical and otherwise, is very clinical. It's all just math, and so it can get kind of tedious, unless you're trying to be creative somehow.
Very tedious. It takes so long.
Yeah, I know it. Imagine the guys who sit down. That's why could never write software. I had software classes back in, yeah, when it first started. Not when it first started, but back in the 70s. And I realized then, I said, I don't have that much patience to write software.
It takes a minute.
Oh yeah, it does. And it takes almost, it's a zero defects mindset. You don't want to ever have anything go wrong. It all has to be perfect. And even though software isn't always perfect, that's what the designer's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, for sure. Really, any kind of programming. If you have one line of code or something that's out of whack, it'll just throw everything off.
Yep. And usually, what I've personally found, and I'm no software expert, but it's the interaction sometimes between different systems that gets things messed up because they don't, or even on the same platform, they get messed up just due to, I don't even know the reason. It's like it feels like there's a clog in the pipes.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like I guess things equal different values on the different systems. Someone just had a different idea on how it should work.
Yeah, I got you. All right, very good, Joey. Glad to have you in there, and I hope school's going to go well for you. My nephew just started University of Buffalo, and he went to work. He went to school on Monday. They closed the school due to the snow and weather, and he's not going to start again until next Monday.
That's pretty nice. I wish that it maybe get a little more snow over here. That'd be nice.
Yeah, you wish. All right, very good, Joey. Keep up the good work in school. That's Kilo November 4, Papa, Quebec X-ray. Well, I'll try to remember here. And like I said, you need to change it to KJ4OEY. I keep telling you.
Maybe I'll put in a request for a vanity call sign one of these days. Maybe.
No, that'll be after I remember this one. Then I won't know who you are.
You are so right.
All right, very good, Joey. Good to have you in there. David, what you up to?
Oh, I'm one of them little short fellas, about 5'11". How are you doing, sir?
5'11" is just a nice height. Believe me, I got enough. The top of my head looks like a manatee who got run over by a motorboat a few times.
Yeah, don't you just hate something just a little bit above eye level?
I'm sure I've mentioned it on the air before, but it's 6'3" on a good day if I'm standing up straight. And you know what's funny is I never think of myself as being tall. It's what I am. You don't think about it. And it's when I see somebody taller than me that I go, holy crap, that guy's tall.
Yeah, I understand. Well, anyway, I got a technical question for you.
Well, you might want to have for the group. Go ahead, David.
Okay, 857, Yaesu 857. Had it sitting here, was working it on a 2 meter for the last year or two. Turned on HF, and I've got full modulation on the little meter on the radio with no SWR. Got good SWRs. Checked the antennas with another meter. No power out and no ALC. Checked the mic. I'm talking about doing everything I know to do, all the settings, rebooted the factory, and just kind of curious if anybody else has run into such a problem.
No power out whatsoever. Nothing. It's not even bumping the meter or nothing. Huh?
However, on FM, it does power out and works perfectly. Even shows power on the meter. Now, I'm talking about the meters that are on the radio itself, right?
Yeah, no, I understand. Huh. I don't think I've run into that. You're not in. What have you got the power setting in?
I've tried it at different levels. 100 watts on down. Tried at different levels, and again, now I checked today, and it works on FM perfectly, but not on HF.
I don't know. I have to think about that. I don't know if I've run into that before because I've had an 857 and 897 for about, 13 years. I don't think I've run into that. I've run into all kinds of other dumb problems I've created, but not that one, I don't think. Let's work on it. Anybody got any ideas on a no power out on HF, but they got power on FM? Have you tried any of the other modes on the HF? Anything else? AM, LSB, USB, done the whole works?
Pretty much so, Paul. I was just watching for the meter, to show me something. But I've got modulation. It shows full modulation on all modes, all bands.
Huh. Full modulation on all modes, all bands, but no power out. And you're seeing that on Well, let me ask you, you've not made any contacts in that. Well, obviously you haven't if you got no power out, but I mean, that's on an external meter on like a watt meter or some kind of indication on power out besides the radio. I mean,
Not on the external meter. That's one of my next steps. But I was just using the little meters built in because I mean it always had worked. It just set for I guess 2 years basically without any HF work other than listening, and so I'm kind of stumped. But I won't hold up the net. And would you be interested in 4 or 5 pounds of fresh sausage and bacon, sir?
oh no, I'm going to be the only one eating it would be the problem. We can talk about it though. Where'd it come from?
Well, you remember that little problem I tried to get you to help me with? And by the way, Bill, if you're still in there, don't worry about Paul coming to help you because he wouldn't even help me solve that problem.
You didn't actually ask me to come there. You just said, do you have any advice? And my advice was just what it was.
Oh, man. Have a good one, Mr. Paul. Appreciate what you do. And I'll contact you via email with some more of the particulars on that radio and see if I can find a solution. And I don't think it's the output, final output. So talk to you later. Thanks again for what you do. 73KI4ND.
Yeah, very good, David. That was Kilo November 4, November Delta November, and he's in Reedyville. Great signal tonight. Who is the breaker in there?
This is Cam4NNY. Hey, he's not giving you a real high recommendation there now. You're going to have to watch this.
Yeah, I know it. I'd love to know what his problem is, though. Yeah, well, he did. All he did last time was ask me for advice what to do with those critters in his yard. But you know, obviously, he took my advice.
Yeah, I'll be clear.
Very good. All righty. That was commentary by Bill down in Murfreesboro. And anybody else saw the 40?
K4 OFO mobile South Juliet.
Ah, very good. On your way home, I hope.
Yeah, we had a little session tonight with Tom on CW. Very, very good. He did an excellent job teaching introductory class.
Ah, very good. So how many people hung around?
Well, we had 4 of us there, so I thought that was pretty good. We did it after the meeting, after our club meeting tonight, so it did pretty well. And there's several more interested in it, so I may do another one later on.
Yeah, probably so. Probably what they need to do really is do it in front of the meeting. That way, even people who aren't necessarily going to sit through a meeting will show up for 30 or 40 minutes of the event.
There you go. Tom's a good instructor. He did a very good job. Proud of him. Well, that's all I have. Good to hear you on the net. I hadn't heard too many. I'm just coming back, so almost home. Good to hear you and talk to you.
Yeah, very good, Donnie. That was Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar, and he's down in, well, he's mobile at the moment, headed south on 171 or Mount Juliet. Good to have you in there, Donnie. Appreciate you checking in. Who else we got south of Mount Juliet?
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Hey, Larry. You doing good tonight? Sound good.
Man, I'm doing all right. I didn't expect Donnie to cover me up.
Yeah, especially mobile, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he's in a good position there, just south of, he's only about maybe 3 or 4 miles. I don't know where exactly he was, but he's only a few miles south.
All right, man. Well, let's get on with it. KE4SYB.
Yeah, very good, Larry. Good to have you in there. That's Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor, and he is in Rockville. Who else south of 40? Anybody? So you are almost going to be last, aren't you?
I can wait for the sandbaggers.
Yeah, that's right. You can lead the sandbaggers. I was going to ask if you were not hearing anybody with your newest rendition of an antenna, but how'd you make out?
So far, everybody but one station to the north. He was rough copy.
Was that Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. He's pretty good distance to the north, so I'm not too shocked. And a lot to overcome on the geography. Well, very good. Did I mention? Yeah, the Tullahoma Ham Fest on the 3rd of March. Did I mention that to everybody?
I missed the front of the net, so I'm not sure if you did or not. Maybe you did.
Yeah, I may have. I know that I wrote it down to announce, and now I don't remember if I announced. I should maybe put a check mark next to it next time. Well, anyway, because I was talking to you, I remembered. I also got a notice this week from the Chattanooga Ham Fest, and that's in October. I think that's a little early reminder, isn't it?
Never too early to be early.
Well, I understand why they do it, to make sure everybody goes, oh, yeah, maybe I ought to figure out if I'm going or not.
The fella in Reedyville with the 857 issue sounds like finals to me. I'd be curious to know what the current draw is on the radio and transmit. Resonant antenna, put it in FM mode, key it up. It ought to be about 100 watts.
On FM or on HF?
On HF, it'll do 100 watts on FM.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't even following you. I'm thinking 2-meter FM. I'm saying, no, I don't think so. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
6 meters the same. So if he's got no power out on any HF band or 6 meters, that kind of points to the finals. If he has another receiver there that he can use to listen with, and he hears it transmit just fine, and that says the exciter is working, and it'll probably leak through the final stage, the bandpass filters and all that. So you could probably hear him within a mile or two of his house. With no power out, and the receive, assuming the receive is working well and properly, then that kind of points to the final.
I got you. David, were you copying that?
Yes, sir, I was copying. What station was that?
That's a Robin, Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie.
Okay, that's very good information. I'll go with that, and thanks a lot. K4IDC, right?
That's affirmative. By the way, Robin, it can't be the finals because they didn't have the money for that.
Yeah, that's what we all want to hear and believe.
All right. Yeah, okay, very good, David. I hope that helped you. I didn't even thought about that, but he's absolutely correct. All right, Robin, appreciate it. You have a good night.
Thank you. Doing a good job of that. Glad to see it is where it is after, what's it been, 4 years or so?
4 years and 4 months almost, or almost 5 months. Okay. Yeah, it's doing great. Just made more work for myself, that's all. All righty, Robin. That was Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie, about 6 miles south of me, just west of Mount Juliet Road, and east of that big lake they call a lake there at Percy Priest. All right, anybody else on the 40?
K1S speeding.
Hey, Scott, good to hear you in there. You were waiting to almost be last.
Oh, I guess.
How's everything working out for your HF work?
Oh, CW, it's still hard. HF has been horrible for me. Playing around with my antennas right now.
Yeah, now you and Kathy got my interest peaked, and I'm looking at that. I got to write and see about that schedule on that CW University, whatever they're calling.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe that will push me over the edge.
Yeah, I was going to write them and ask them if they have a remedial course.
I think there's 3 different levels in it. Obviously I'll be in the class 1, but that's a good refresher for people that already know it, though.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I'm looking forward to at least trying to get in there and see what I can do. That'll pressure me into doing something on on a schedule that's kind of mandated,
Yeah. All right. I'll carry on with it. K1S speeding.
All right, Scott. Anybody else out of the 40? Now moving on to late check-ins. Any late check-ins, please come now.
K4QPR.
Hey, Russell, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Got all the errands done now. I get to sit down in the easy chair.
Oh yeah, no, it's nice to just be able to sit down and relax, isn't it?
You know it. And I even had a cookie.
I pulled out my wife had made some really, really good pineapple upside down cake, and I had the last piece of it, and I grabbed it, and she said, well, don't forget to put the whipped cream in. I said, it doesn't need the whipped cream. I like it just the way it is. She came out and gave me the whipped cream anyway. And so, by the way, there's another part of a piece. So I ended up with like a piece and a half of this big piece. I feel like a pig.
I pick out whenever I feel like it. You were saying a certain size for yourself. I'm about 265.
Oh, there you go. See, that's usually like a 2X or a 3X in shirt and jacket size. That's where I am. 2X in some brands and mostly 3X in others.
Yeah, I'm close to the 2X, but some things I get on 3.
I hear you. I really do need to work on that too. I know everybody says that, but it's true. But I don't remember. You're relatively young, aren't you?
61.
Okay, you sound younger than that. I guess it's just my ears.
They don't make many things in tall size, so the sleeves are always too short.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's always a problem for bigger guys. I'll put it that way. And when I see like I said, when I see really big guys like professional athletes and basketball, football players that are big, and you go, where the heck? They must all get their custom made stuff.
And at least they can afford it.
Well, they have to afford it. Yeah, but I'm sure that's a lot of money though too. Well, very good, Russell. Good to have you in there. That's Kilo 4 Quebec Papa Romeo in Laverne. Did I get that right?
That's right. I still don't have my antenna high enough to hear about half the people on the net right now.
Oh yeah, well that's the beauty of Simplex. Really, is that it creates this frustration level of who you can't hear, although you're pretty sure they're out there.
Well, I know they're out there because you say they're.
Well, yeah, that's true. But you know what I'm saying is you hate to be in a position where you're not hearing some people, so it's kind of frustrating. I know I've been through that many times. Where you can't hear somebody, and you go, "Man, I wish I could." What are they saying? Who are they? Who are those people talking to?
Definitely.
All right, very good, Russell. Good to have you in there. That's Russell and Laverne. And again, it's Kilo 4 Quebec Papa Romeo. Anybody else late checking? Any lollygaggers, sandbaggers, lurkers, scanner listeners, SDR donglers, or preppers? Or just keyers, push to talkers. All right, very good. We're going to move right in. We're going to close that portion of the net. Move quickly. It's already 11 minutes after 9, so we're moving quickly. This is K4 PEW is Mount Juliet Simplex Net. I'm looking for the parts of the net here with the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net. Anybody got anything they want to sell?
Astron RS50.
RS50. Is the price going down anymore?
Open offers.
Open to offers on an Astron RS50 power supply. And that's 120 volt power supply, correct?
Yep.
Or is it 117 to be correct?
Yeah, 120. 120, 121, whatever it takes.
Exactly. And that's an RS50 is how many watts again is that?
Whatever. 600 watts. Yeah. 12 times 50.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, that'll handle just about anything. Well, not anything. It's not going to handle. Obviously, it's for radios, not for power, not for amps.
Right. Well, yeah, it's solid state amps, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Very good. Anyway, RS50 open to offers, and that's Robin, Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie. No more towers left, huh?
Not out of the tower inventory.
Okay. When's the next midnight shipment coming in?
Not this midnight. Yeah, Dennis wiped me out almost.
That's great.
Yeah, he's all excited. Hey, Robin. Hey, Scott. Yeah, I saw somebody on QTH and he posted on QRZ also that he's looking for a tower here in the Nashville area. And for Hotel Uniform Foxtrot. Oh, yeah, that's David. Yeah, I know him.
All right. Anybody else with anything else they want to buy, sell, swap, or swindle?
W4AWE.
Yeah, go ahead, John. Same thing?
A new Yaesu FT991. And if you Google those, there were some early versions that were shipped from the factory with the PA transistors bias set wrong, which caused an early failure. And since this sat on the shelf here for so long unused,
made sure the bias adjustment was correct and it had full output power. So this is what you would call one of the good ones. 800, brand new with everything. And then also an Ameritron AL80B, which does a kilowatt on 120 volts, only pulling 12 amps, according to the manual. I've never powered it up, but that's what the manual says, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is good. And anything else on that? Because I'm just going to repeat it. The FT991, it's all set up and ready to go with the factory corrections put on it. And then the Ameritron AL80B 1 kW 120 volt power supply for that's a 1 kW power 1 kW amp.
Yeah, 1 kW PEP on the sideband. I think they rated it 800 CW. You know, one thing that dawned on me when I looked up the manual online, when I saw that it only pulls 12 amps in single sideband, that would actually make, with one of those little Honda 2 kilowatt generators, a really good full kilowatt field day amp.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. What I was going to ask you something else about that. No, forgot what it was. Oh yeah, what was the price on that again? There was like 1,100 on the AL80B.
Yeah, 1,100, which I keep thinking about more and more because it never dawned. I've got 4 kilowatts of generator power, which is sort of tempting to hang on to a portable kilowatt amplifier, but I just need to get rid of some stuff. So they sell new now for $1,600. So, and this is new, still in the box.
Yeah, I got you. I may be contacting you that in a day or so. So keep your shorts on. Okay. All right, John. Anybody else? Then again, that was an FT991. Was 991. Oh yeah, the Yaesu FT991, almost a near new condition. I mean, it is new, barely used, and I mean barely, and it's working great. $800, and then the AL80B, 1 kW, 120 volt Ameritron amp for $1,100. Any questions on those things? Nothing heard. Anybody else got anything? Well, very good. Then we're going to go to the sideband net real quick. Like it's already 9:16, and I'm sorry it drug out so long, but it seemed like such a good net. I hated to slow people down there. We did have 23 check-ins and a lot of chewing the rag, as they say. But I think we had fun. At least I had fun. I don't think that's the only important thing, but I think everybody did all right. All right, I'm going to change it over here momentarily. Does anybody have any questions, additions, subtractions, criticisms? Please come in. Whatever. No, I believe we were set on 144, 240. Wasn't that the number? Somebody correct me.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, very good. At least I got one affirmative on that. 144, 240, upper sideband. Ready? And it's all where most of us are going to be vertical, but there's going to be a couple horizontal, but it won't make any difference. All right, that's where I'm going now. And I'll still be on the air here. So K4PEW is closing down this portion of that, moving over to sideband 73. All righty, this is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey with the sideband portion of the net here on the Simplex Network. Looking for check-ins north of Mount Juliet.
Kilo India 4 Zulu Delta Delta.
I think I heard Kilo India 4 Zulu Delta Delta.
Yes, sir. Good evening. other than that, worked last night and was just waking up this evening. I thought you switching over. Luckily, I could participate in some of it.
No, I'm glad you checked in. You weren't in there in the initial one. I'm glad you could make it in.
Yeah, I don't know if Robin's listening. I want to thank him. I've been out of commission over here for a little while. The power supply died, and he very graciously swung by on the way home from work one night and brought me another one to use. He took mine, and it's undergoing some surgery at the moment. He's taking care of mine and giving me one to use in the meantime. So I was able to make it tonight.
Yeah, very good, Michael. I don't know if Robin's on the air, but we'll pass that along if he's not already. Anybody else north? Appreciate you being there, Michael. Who else is in there north of Mount Juliet Road? North of Mount Juliet? West of Mount Juliet?
Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Hey, there you are, John. Whiskey for Alpha Whiskey Echo. Sound good. Were you copying Michael there in Hermitage?
Yeah, I got a good copy on him. A little noisy, but just fine.
All right, very good. Who else we got the west of Mount Juliet? How about anybody south?
K4 IDC.
K4 IDC got you in there, Robin. Who else south?
K4 CYJ.
Hey, very good, Jim. You copying all those others?
Yeah, I didn't copy that station, Hermitage. I didn't know where he was at, and I don't think I was pointing at him, but I did. Yeah, I knew he was there. I just didn't really copy. Everybody else was fine.
Yeah, he's not in line exactly. He'd probably be another few degrees pointing to the west, from me.
Sure, but everybody else is doing great over here. I'll let get back to that.
Yeah, very good, Jim. Anybody else south? Please come now.
Okay, when I spit it.
Hey, Scott, you sound good. How about you copying everybody?
100%.
You said you're doing lousy on HF. What kind of story is that?
I'm messing with my dipoles out there. It's just, I'm getting so much ground noise from them right now. It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know what that is. Get them up another couple 100 feet. You'll be all set.
That's what we're working on. Yeah, right. Okay, when I spit it.
Yeah, very good, Scott. Anybody else south, please come now. Well, very good. From the east of Mount Juliet, please come now. Nobody east. Late check-ins any place, anywhere on sideband. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey with the sideband portion of the Simplex Net. Well, very good. We had a pretty good crowd in here tonight. If you call 6 a crowd, but that's one more than a handful. And that's Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey, Paul here in Mount Juliet, and KI for Kilo India for Zulu Delta Delta, Michael in Hermitage, and John, Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo in Bellevue, Robin, Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie down in Hermitage, south of Mount Juliet, Jim, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet, and he's down in Woodbury. See, I got it right almost quickly. And Scott, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta there in Laverne. Any other commentary, questions? You can't hear them. I know the frequency's off a little bit on some of the people I hear, but I figured it's my fault.
KI4ZDD, K4IDC. KI4ZDD, go ahead, sir. I got your power supply repaired. Okay, good. I just got your text there a second ago. All right, very well. I'm off tomorrow and Monday, and I don't go in till Tuesday night, so I'll get with you on it, and I'll figure out what's best for you. Just let me know. Roger that, Michael. No worries. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. You're welcome. My pleasure.
And that concludes today's service-oriented. We had a couple of service issues this and that too. That's great. I'm glad to hear everything worked out. Well, this closes this portion of the net. This is K4PEW. I'm glad you guys could be there tonight. And I'll catch you somewhere on down the log. If I was keeping one routinely, I only keep one really for, well, keep one for HF. I don't keep one other than FM I run. And by the way, we had 23 check-ins. So no, actually 24 if I count Michael Kilo 1 Zulu Delta Delta. Good to have all you guys in there. Closing on that K4PEW.
73 Paul, K4TYJ.
Have a great night, everybody.